Here's a Stalker card game I've been making for the past couple of years, on and off. Just pick a character. Pick a starter weapon, because you've just entered the zone. Makarov. Study the... This is your reputation level, this is your evade level, and this is what you roll for damage, which would be a 1d6. You're going to need dry erase markers for this game. Everyone starts off with 50 HP. Get your +1 and your +1. You don't have to mark the 1. And then starting out, whoever rolled highest goes first. Pick your location card. Open field. A little bit of decision making. Green is good decision, red is bad decision. In this case, you'll get 1 extra loot, 2 extra loot, and 2 rads, whereas if you did the good decision, you would get 2 rep. And then, so if we took the good decision, always assess the decision first before doing anything else. And so we would get +2 rep, so this would actually be a 3. And so after you've done the event, you have to take the radiation from the location. 2. This is really hard to do with through the camera. Then you're going to look at the looting capability. So this is the reputation of your stalker, but it also checks to see if you could find anything in that location. So in the open field, you need a 5 to find anything. And in this case, we have a 3, so we do not. But if we did, then we would roll 1d3. We got a 1, and so you would take from the pile and found a detector, which is really good. So now this is actually part of the, you need this to beat the game, or to win. And so once we would check this, we would go over to here. This is your stalker's ability to evade danger. And so we have a 1, because our Makarov, everything about us is not very safe. So we get in harm's way quite easily. So now, go over here. This is the enemies you find. So mutants and whatnot. So we got Snork. Broken-minded soldiers left to guard the zone. So now, cards will do different things, but in this case, you have nothing, so the Snork will go first. And so the Snork will roll 2d6, and he has an HP of 8. So he's going to roll, he's going to 5. And so it's kind of good to keep a list, wait until the battle's over, and then calculate. It's however the player feels like doing it. In this case, we'll just... And then we got a 5, so now we're at 45. So, now it would be the player's turn. The player is going to roll a 1d6. Roll the 1. And so, could use other dice. I haven't quite figured out a good way of doing this. I might have to rework everything. Not too sure. Maybe have some boxes and just every hit you fill in a box. And however difficult the monster is, there's more boxes to fill in. I'm not too sure yet. But we scored a 1, so this will be 7. And it gets to attack again, 2d6. Other players can roll for the mutants. So 8. So it hits us with 8. And then you just keep doing that until the monster is defeated. And once you've defeated the monster, you just flip it up, put it up there, it's expanded. Now you would loot. So you grab your... Actually, no, sorry. Mutants, you don't find anything unless you have a certain item on you, a knife or something to carve out trophies. Then you would find something. Otherwise, they're just a nuisance to come up against. So once that's done, now you can move on to exploring the location further. So these atom symbols means that you could potentially find an artifact in this location. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. We're going to see what kind of anomaly we can find. In this case, it is a gas cloud. And the number up here means how difficult it is to traverse safely and collect the artifact. So it's 11. Our reputation is 3. We'll say it's 5. If our reputation was 5, however much 11 exceeds your reputation is the amount of damage you will take. So let's say 5 is our reputation. How many? So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 6. So you'll take 6 damage because however many points beyond 5 the anomaly is how much damage you take. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that would be 6. So we would take a further 6 damage on our little track, but we would find an artifact. And so in this case, we found a flash and flavored text on everything. Just give you more of a feeling of playing the game. So it's worth 4,000 rubles. So you'll put that in your little stoosh area. And now you've collected 1 artifact. So if no other player had any artifacts, you would be in the lead. Now, once that's done, you discard the location card, discard the artifact, the anomaly, my goodness. And at this point, it would move over to the next player, if there was one. An alternative way of looting I had created quickly was a small table that would have a nice little stalker feeling design. Maybe look like a PDA or something like that. I'm not too sure. But every time you loot something, you would roll on the track. So we got a 15. Then you would look down here. What's 15? Abandoned post. And so in that case, you would find tools, provisions, and equipment. And instead of just randomly picking on a dice roll of 1 to 3, you would pick either tools, provisions, or equipment, because tools are things like weapon cleaning kits. Sometimes I'll probably have to redo all the art because I don't own the Stalker anything. And so provisions, so things to heal you, reduces the amount of ionizing radiation, -5 rads. So then you would, any rads you had, you would just whoosh, take that away because you got anti-rads. And then the last loot would be equipment. So that's what these symbols mean. Tools, provisions, equipment. And equipment is weapons, junk. Junk isn't it. You can find that along the way. You could sell it for small amounts of ruble. And so equipment is weapons and armor. And how the armor works is, let's say I found a sunrise suit. I'll just remove that for now. If I found a sunrise suit, however you would like to do it, I like to place it over like this. And now any incoming damage I would take, I would reduce by 5. And I can absorb up to -2 radiation. Now the minute we're attacked, it breaks. It'll absorb what it needs to do in the first encounter, and it's broken. There are other cards to counteract that. I've created many cards. Outdated map, lie about its worth and sell the outdated map to someone for 1,500 rubles, -2 rep. Binoculars gives you +1 evade, so you'll be easier to avoid monsters, mutants, and you can get first attack in combat. So if a player decides to attack you, well, if he doesn't have one of those, you get the first attack. Otherwise, it's a roll of the dice. Portable tent, that does stuff. Okay, repair kit. So I kind of have to rework this, but at the moment, if your armor breaks at the end of the fight, before your turn's up, you can use any cards that you want. And in this case, I roll 1d6, and either 1 would just destroy it, 2 I'd get 4 back, 3 to 5 I'd get 8 back, and 6 it's full. In this case, I only get up to 5 back, so 3 to 6 would have been fine for me. What else? So you could see I made quite a few things. Basic tools. You can craft equipment. I tried to make it as open world as possible. Ukrainian rations, Geiger counter. No matter where you go, you'll always just take 1 radiation. That's really good because if you see here, truck cemetery, 6. That's pretty high. Once you absorb 15, you're dead, and 50 HP, which goes by quick when you have zombies, dogs, the basic monsters and creatures you'd find in the Stalker series. Islam. Snark. 2d6. I have some stalkers in that roll 1d6 or 1d20s. That chews you up pretty good. There you go. A monolith member. So you can see that will harm you quite quickly. Okay, roll the dice, right? So there you go. That's the stalker game that I've been working on. Let me know what you guys think. Here's a few things I had to make, like mutant meat, mutant parts, mutant trophy. Once you find a knife, you can start carving away body parts of the creatures, sell it for rubles. At the end of the game, once the emission card is drawn, all players, I'm not too sure how I'm going to do that. I have a Chernobyl card here that's pretty much 3 stages of just going through Chernobyl. I'm not sure. This was supposed to be the end game. Chernobyl nuclear power plant. You have to go in and you fight the wish granter. So every time he attacks you, he would make you drop your weapon or shoot your friend or something like that. And you guys have to kind of counteract that as best you can until you defeat him. And then there was also just, at a certain point, signs of the emission are coming. And so the players flee. And I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to find a way. But at the end of the game, whoever has the most rubles gets +1 victory points. Whoever has the most artifacts gets +2 victory points. And whoever has the highest stalker reputation, excuse me, gets +1 victory points. And, at the end, you can kind of battle it out. And there will be someone with the highest victory points who will win. And he'll be the winner. And so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks.